Oba Femi did not come to Raw looking scared. He did not come to Raw humbled. He did not come to Raw acting like Brock Lesnar broke him. After Brock came back and hit him with 4 F5s, Oba Femi walked into the final Raw before Clash in Italy and made one thing very clear. Last time he was fighting to beat Brock Lesnar. This time, he said he is fighting to kill the beast. And that right there tells you what kind of Raw this was. Monday Night Raw on May 25th was all about the final statements before Clash of Italy. Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu made Tribal Combat official. Seth Rollins and Montez Ford went to war while the Division continued to move like a dangerous machine. And Oba Femi turned Brock Lesnar's attack from last week into something personal. Welcome to the Tea Drop, where the brew is strong and the takes are even stronger. So today we are breaking down the top 3 moments from Monday Night Raw, May 25th, 2026. So let's get into it. Coming in at number 3, we have Seth Rollins defeating Montez Ford. But this was bigger than just Seth getting a singles win. This match came from the tension between Seth Rollins and the Street Profits. Seth was trying to tell Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford that they all had the same enemy, the Vision. But Montez Ford was not buying it. And honestly, can you blame him? Every time Seth gets near a situation, chaos follows. Maybe trying to help, but honestly, Montez sees the pattern. When Seth is around, people get hurt. Alliances get messy, and nobody knows if they can fully trust him. That is what made this match work. It was not just about 2 great wrestlers having a match. It was Montez Ford trying to prove he did not need Seth Rollins to tell him how to handle his business. And Montez looked good here. He pushed Seth, he matched his energy, he got believable near falls. He showed that if WWE ever wants to seriously present Montez Ford as a single player, the tools are already there. But in the end, Montez missed the 450 splash and Seth capitalized when the stomp for the win. So Seth wins the match, but then Austin Theory makes the bigger statement. Earlier in the night, Theory had already attacked Joe Henry with a chair after Henry led the crowd in a chant aimed at firing Logan Paul. Theory was angry because Logan Paul was injured from Saturday Night Main Event, and he was moving like a man trying to punish everybody connected to that loss. Then after Seth and Montez finished their match, Theory struck again. This time, he attacked Angelo Dawkins with a chair while Seth and Montez were down. And that is where this story gets dangerous, because the Vision is not just trying to win matches. They are trying to injure and hurt people. They are trying to isolate people. They are trying to make sure every person who stands against them pays a physical price. So my take on this is Seth Rollins beats Montez Ford, but the Vision still controlled the damage overall. And Montez proved he can hang at a higher level, while Austin Theory proved the Vision is becoming more desperate, more dangerous, and more reckless. Now at number 2, Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu made Tribal Combat official for Clash in Italy. And this segment was all about power, not just being a champion, family power. Roman Reigns came into this contract signing with one goal: control Jacob Fatu. This has always been Roman's greatest weapon. Not just his strength, not just his accolades, not just his championship history. Roman's real weapon has always been control. He controls the room. He controls the family. He controls the consequences. But Jacob Fatu feels like the one man Roman cannot fully control. And that is what made this contract signing very important. Roman basically laid out the stakes. If Jacob Fatu loses, he has to serve Roman. He has to fall in line. He has to learn from the tribal chief. Roman even framed it like, in time, Jacob would love his tribal chief. That is not just wrestling trash talk. That is Roman trying to domesticate the wildest member of this family. But Jacob Fatu did not back down. He made it clear that he is not like everyone else. He said Roman brought the family to the promised land, but now it is time for a change, a new direction, and a new destination. That's an important line, because Jacob Fatu is not just challenging Roman for a championship. He is challenging Roman's entire version of the bloodline. And if Jacob wins, he does not just become champion. He becomes the shot caller, the head of the table, the man everybody has to acknowledge. That is why tribal combat works. This is not just a regular stipulation. This is also a family law. This is violence with consequences, and the vision at the end with Roman and Jacob clasping hands and bowing their heads made it feel like two forces accepting that the talking is pretty much done. So my take on this is Roman wants to break Jacob Fatu and make him serve. Jacob Fatu wants to take Roman's seat at the table and make everybody acknowledge him. That is not anymore just a title match. This is a hostile takeover inside the damn bloodline. And now we get to the number one moment of the night. Oba Femi confronting Paul Heyman. This was the biggest moment of Raw because it changed the energy around Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. Last week, Brock Lesnar returned and destroyed Oba Femi with 4 F5s, right? That could have made Oba look weak. It could have even make him be shaken about the whole thing. It could have made the story feel like Brock came back to remind the new monster that he is not ready. But this week, Oba flipped the whole story thing altogether. Paul Heyman opened the show, hyping Brock Lesnar and saying Brock was going to rule over Oba Femi. Then Oba came out, and the energy changed immediately. Oba backed Heyman into the corner, but he did not hurt him. Instead, he told Heyman he needed him alive. And, well, to tell the tale of Brock Lesnar, that line was cold. Because Oba Femi was not treating Heyman like the target. He was treating Heyman like the messenger. Then Oba made it personal even after that. He said the 4 F5s Brock gave him were personal. He brought out the contract. He signed it on Paul Heyman. And then he delivered what I think is the line of the night. Last time he was fighting to beat Brock Lesnar. This time he is fighting to kill the beast. That is the kind of line you build a whole video package around. Because Oba is no longer just trying to prove he belongs in the ring with Brock anymore. He already proved that. He is now trying to prove that Brock is no longer the final boss when it comes to the WWE. And that is the story right there. Brock Lesnar is the measuring stick for monsters in the WWE. Many have tried against him and failed. If you want to be called dangerous, you have to survive Brock. If you want to be called dominant, you have to stand across from Brock and not blink. But Oba Femi is not walking into Clash of Italy like a rookie trying to survive. He is walking in like a monster who got embarrassed and now wants revenge. That is what makes this story work. Oba already beat Brock once. Brock attacked him because that loss ate at him. Now Brock wants to conquer him, rule over him, and remind everyone who the beast is. But Oba is saying no. You do not get to come back, hit me with 4 F5s, and think I am just going to be grateful for the spotlight. So my take on this is pretty straightforward. Brock Lesnar came back to humble Oba Femi. But Oba Femi came to Raw and said, you don't humble me. You awaken me. That is why this is the clear number one moment. Now, as always, before we close, we have to shout out a few honorable mentions. Penta retaining the Intercontinental Championship against Javon Evans in a strong high-flying match. Javon kept pushing, kept flying, and kept showing flashes of why WWE sees something in him. But Penta had the answers, countering the OG cutter into a backstabber, and finished with the Mexican Destroyer. Rey Mysterio also defeated Rusev to become the next challenger for Penta's Intercontinental title. And after the match, Dragon Lee made the save, keeping the lucha energy alive around the title picture. So those are my top 3 moments from Monday Night Raw, May 25th. Number 3, Seth Rollins beats Montez Ford, but the Vision keeps causing damage. Number 2, Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu makes tribal combat official. And number 1, Oba Femi tells Paul Heyman he is fighting to kill the beast. This Raw was not about giving us millions shocking moments, it was about the final statements. Seth Rollins wants Braun Breaker. Roman Reigns wants Jacob Fatu to serve. Jacob Fatu wants Roman's seat at the table, and Oba Femi wants to end Brock Lesnar. But now I want to hear from you. Was Oba's warning to Brock the clear #1 moment of this week? Is Jacob Fatu actually about to become the new head of the table? And is the vision becoming too dangerous for Seth Rollins and the Street Profits to handle? Drop your top 3 moments in the comments below. And as always, if the tea hit right, hit the like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.